Hey guys, we're going to be trying some newish, new to me makeup. Let me explain myself. So I do have some new products in here that I do want to try, like this Makeup by Mario. What's the full name? Jelly Jar Lip and Cheek Balm. They sent me all of, I believe it's all of the shades. They even sent me this little doohickey that you could attach to the top and it turns it into like a little charm. Super cute. I'm very curious about these because I think the texture for lips makes sense. So I definitely want to try that on my cheeks and see. Say has come out with a lightweight setting spray. It's called City Set. So I do want to try that. Kosas has come out with a wet glisten powder highlighter called Shiny Objects, and I purchased it in Haloed, which is a champagne sheen. I'm very curious about that. And then I have a couple of products. I'm not sure how new they are. I think they're newish. The Milk Makeup Hydro Grip and Glow Primer. Actually, I don't think this is new at all, but they sent this to me, and I know they're like Grip Primer, the one that looks like light green, very, very popular. But because I have dry skin, it didn't seem like something that I needed. But this Grip and Glow Primer, I'm very curious about. And then Violet FR sent over their Liquid Chrome Eyeliner. These I know are relatively new. It's the Loon Liner, and I thought I would try the shade Aurora. It's like an opalescent kind of shade. I'm not, as you guys know, I'm not really into like super daring, colorful makeup. But these were kind of enticing, like a little eyeliner action. I'm not opposed to. So I wanted to try that. And then I have like new shades, new to me shades of some things that I've already tried. And then I have a foundation. You guys are going to laugh. I have a foundation that came out probably almost a year ago at this point, but it was a reformulation of a foundation that came out years ago that I really loved. And I just was not interested in trying the reformulation. I was like, you know what? Why mess with a good thing? But I've gotten pretty good, good experiences, pretty decent experiences with some reformulated foundations lately, like the Armani Luminous Silk. I really love the reformulation. So I thought I would get, and who knows, they're probably going to reformulate this soon again anyway, but this is the Givenchy Prism Libre Glow Serum Foundation, and I got the shade 1.5N. So yeah, I really loved the version previous to this, and I think I decluttered it in my last declutter. Anyway, enough, blah, 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 blah. Let's go ahead and start getting some of this onto my face. All right, so let's start with this Milk Hydro Grip and Glow Primer. Yeah, it's this guy. So it is glowy. It has actual like metallic sheen going on in there. So I am very curious about this. And I don't know, I'm kind of leaning into like this primer setting spray thing that we're seeing kind of return. Primers and setting sprays were such a big thing. I don't know what, 5-6 years ago? Yeah, I want to say like before the pandy. And yeah, I really could appreciate the setting sprays. A good primer is great. I mean, it can make all the difference. But then I just kind of fell off of them, and I think they just, weren't that popular. But anyway, it seems to be making a comeback. So I'm just like very curious about primers again. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit out, not squeeze, pump. Oh, this is really glowy. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Oh yeah, it's even kind of like tinted. I mean, my skin is so pale, so pale. I think if you have anything, a skin tone any deeper than mine, you probably would not consider this tinted, but it's a little bit tinted on my pale ass skin. All right. It does feel nice. I remember I did try just like their grip primer, the like light green one that I was talking about, and that felt a little like tightening on my skin. This does not feel that way, which is nice. Okay, so there definitely is a glow. I think you guys can see it, but not as much as I thought. I mean, when I look at it in the bottle, when I looked at it on the back of my hand, I thought for sure I was gonna look like the Tin Man once I was done, but no, I just kind of have a nice glow. It's not bad. I am gonna let it set down a little bit because I did put quite a bit on, probably a little bit too much. And I feel like, as I'm blending it in, I feel it's kind of like balling up a little bit. So, you know, I do have my normal skincare down. And yeah, I find if I use too much product or if I don't give it time to set down, that's what happens. So I'm gonna sit here just for maybe a minute or so and just let it kind of, oh yeah, there's like another little ball. I'm just gonna let it kind of like settle down a little bit. Okay, I am back. Let's see. Well, it's still balling up a little bit. Okay. And it's been more than a minute. I kind of got sucked into doom scrolling on Instagram. I think it's okay. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay. All right. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. So that is the Milk Hydro Grip-In Glow Primer. Let's see how the Givenchy Prism Libre Glow Serum Foundation works over it. So this is the foundation that came out about 10 or 11 months ago. 10 or 11 months ago, here I am. I got shade 1.5N, and I think in the previous version of this, I had 2N, and I've gotten paler. So I went down to 1.5, but let's shake this up. Ooh, the first pump was very watery. I don't think it's that watery. Hold on, let me wipe that off. Let me shake a little bit more. At least I remember the previous version not being this thin at all. It was like a typical kind of like lotion foundation. Oh wow, no, this is really thin. Oh, I had no idea. Can you see that running down my hand? Okay, interesting. I was not expecting that. All right, I'm gonna use my Bobbi Brown foundation brush. Ooh, there's quite a bit of fragrance too. It just smells kind of, I don't know, kind of floral. Okay, I think 1.5N works for me. I do like the finish of it. I would say this has a light medium coverage. Okay, looks quite nice. It actually appears on the skin very similarly to what I remember the previous version looking like. It just had a really, really nice, very, very subtle glow to it, which is what I'm seeing with this one. I'm just really surprised at the texture, the actual texture of the foundation. Well, that blended out nicely. It is sitting on top of the primer very, very nicely. I don't see any kind of like balling up or any of that, which is good. All right. I suspect it looks a little extra special glowy because of the primer, but I think without that, we'd get that kind of like very, very slight like satin finish. Like that skid-like finish with like just a little bit of oomph, a little bit of juiciness. That's very nice. And you know what bronzer I want to try is the new Rare Beauty bronzer, but it was like I placed this order and then it came out. And then it came out. I was like, ah, so I'll have to save it for the next one. But I am very curious about that. It looks really nice. But for now, we're just going to continue with the Dior bronzer stick because I don't have any new bronzers here at the moment. So I'll just warm up my complexion with this guy. I really do love this product. I'm using my Chantecaille Blend and Smooth brush. This has been the perfect pairing for this product. Okay, and now I want to try these jelly jars. So let me do some swatches of all 5 of the shades I have. Okay, first, let me just show you what it looks like in the jar. It's super shiny looking, so it looks like it's going to be really wet, and it is like a jelly, but even firmer than that. It's not like, I don't know, it's not like it's putty. It's such a weird it's such a weird texture. So you do have to kind of go in to get some actual product out. But I did swatch all 5 of the shades. So we've got Pink Chai. This one is Rose Crush. This one is Mauve Latte. This one is Berry Toasty, and this one is Pink Sugar. So again, when I first saw these, I was like, I can definitely see these for the lips, but I am very, very curious about cheeks. So I'm trying to think which cheek shade would work. Maybe I'll do Rose Crush. That's the second one in. Yeah, let's do that one. That's this guy right here, and that's what it looks like in the jar. And you know what I'm going to do before I go any further? I am going to see what their suggested like directions for uses, because I'm like, do I just use my fingers? Do I use a brush? There are, by the way, 6 shades, and I don't have, I think it's called Cherry Pie. It's like a bright red. So that's the one that they did not send me. Totally fine. Are there any reviews on this? Oh, I got decent reviews on Sephora, if that means anything to you. How to use. Gently swirl product with finger or lip brush and tap and blend into lips and cheeks. Bouncy, jelly-like formula retains shape and returns to a smooth texture with gentle use. There's definitely a lot more suggested usage for the lips, not so much for the cheeks. So yeah, I do think this is more of a lip product. Anyway, before I make any determinations, let me actually apply them. So again, I've got Rose Crush, and I am just gonna use my finger. I'm just using my 4th finger. I'm swirling it around. And you can see again, it's such a weird texture because it feels like it's so slick, but it's not really. It's not really. And it almost like liquefies a little bit as your finger's like warming up the product. So anyway, I think there's a learning curve is what I'm trying to say in terms of like using this and how best to use it for you. Okay, well, it applies very, very sheerly. And it is definitely sticky. It's really sticky. Let's see if it sets down at all. It's like really, really, really light pigmentation, but you can't really build it up because, I don't know, it's just this weird, this weird texture. I feel like when I'm trying to apply more, I'm like kind of lifting up the product underneath. And the more I add, the like goopier it's feeling. I really don't like this for the cheek. Oh man, I wanted to be pleasantly surprised. I did. But yeah, I feel like it's just kind of moving around. You know what I'm gonna do on this side? I'm gonna actually put some powder down and let's see if that sort of changes how this behaves. I mean, it probably will, but let's see. I've got my Givenchy Prismly pressed powder here. I'm just gonna apply some powder just, you know, over my cheek here, mainly. And I'm just gonna apply the same way. I'm gonna pick some up with my finger and just tap it on and see. Okay, it's a little bit more difficult to blend out. I think the powder is really absorbing up this texture, but it does blend out. It's so light. You really have to put on quite a bit. Yeah, it feels the same. It just feels sticky. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, yeah, you can probably powder on top. Actually, let's do that and see how that looks. You know, I really like cream blushes where you don't have to powder on top, but this one I feel like you're gonna want to. This is definitely like your hair is gonna just stick right on here. I put less product on here because this just felt really goopy. Oof, it's still sticky. You have to put a lot of powder down. This product seems to just sort of like really, really soak up the powder. Okay, not my favorite, but I am looking forward to trying that on my lips. Let's move on to highlighters. I actually have 2 highlighters. I talked about Kosas in the intro, this Shiny Objects. I am really, really excited for this, but Wise Beauty sent me their Vacation Glow highlighter stick in, I think maybe they only have 1 shade. Yeah, so maybe we'll do 1 on each side. But let's take a look at this Kosas. I'm so curious about this. So here is the packaging. Here's the product. Ooh. You know what this kind of feels like? This feels like the Make Beauty single eyeshadows. It has that same kind of, it's powder, but it feels creamy, super smooth. Let me do a swatch of this. Oh, wow. Wow. That is shiny. That is shiny. You guys, I do feel like, I feel like old things that we loved are definitely on their way back. Super, super shiny highlighters, primers, setting sprays. I mean, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna use my Refer number 19 brush. See if this works. I may just use my finger, but let's see. I almost want to take the blush off. Wow, I think you can see how shiny that highlighter is. There's a little bit of micro glitter in there for sure. Yeah, a little bit of micro glitter in there. Wow, I feel like it looks frostier, right? Doesn't it look whiter on my cheeks than it looks swatched? Interesting. That is super shiny though. Woo, 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 woo. Okay. All right. Oh, I just did both cheeks. I didn't mean to. Okay, let's let's try this Wise Beauty stick. Maybe I can put it like on my forehead or something. Don't be shy. Come on out, little highlighter stick. Okay, here is the packaging, and then here is the balm. Let's swatch right underneath here. Much more subtle, and the tone of it is a little bit more yellow. Let's just try this on my nose. Can you guys see that? This is pretty. The texture of this, it is not quite as light as the Westman Atelier. There's like a little bit more to it. Oh, that's pretty. This is a nice, it's a nice alternative to this Kosas one, which is really, really like blindingly bright. This is definitely much more subtle. I mean, in general, cream is definitely much more subtle than powder highlights. Wow, the Kosas really is bright. It's really bright. I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in these Makeup by Mario's because I think they could have very easily just marketed as like a lip product. Not that I've even tried it, but I feel like, you know, it could very easily have been like a really fun like lip product. But when they throw cheek in there, now I just feel like it's just not a great product. Anyway, let me get to the lip portion. Sorry, I'm just like thinking out loud. Eyebrows, I don't have anything terribly new, so I'm just gonna use my Dior Onset Brow Gel in black. Okay, for eyeshadows, this is a palette that I have been meaning to try out with you guys since I think Mishmas, because that's when I purchased it. But it's the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Essential Artistry Edit, and I have it in the shade Light. And this looks like just a really nice, basic ass palette. So all matte shades. Let me do some swatches. I'm just gonna go from light to dark. They feel really, really creamy, I will say. And I have had luck with the larger Patrick Ta eyeshadow palettes. I like them. I think they're really beautiful. So I do have high hopes for these. So those are the 6 shades. I mean, really beautiful, a lovely gradation. There's probably a couple in here. I'm not sure if we needed both of them. You know, they're very, very close. We maybe could have gone darker. I don't know. Or like done one shade that's like, you know, a sparkly shade, like an accent shade or something like that, or like one liner shade or something. Anyway, let's go ahead and try these on. I'll see if I can do just like a nice sort of sculptural look. All right, I'm just gonna go into the second lightest shade up here. I've got my BK Beauty 202 brush, nice fluffy blender brush. And these shadows are really powdery. Really, really powdery. They're very, very soft. So just be gentle when you put your brush in there. Okay, this color is basically my skin tone. So I'm just gonna go into the next deepest shade over here. There are no shade names. I'll call it number 3. And just apply a little bit more. There we go. Getting some dimension there. Yeah, these are blending out really nicely. They are very soft, so I'm not surprised. But they're pigmented well too. It's not like as I'm blending out, I feel like the pigment's fading or anything. No, it's really nice. I'm gonna take my Rephr number 14 brush. It's a smaller blender brush, and I'm gonna go down to this deeper shade number 5, I'll call it. And just wanna focus that right the outer corner here. Just bring it up a little bit. Yeah, I really like the way these shadows are working. They apply nicely, they blend nicely, and the tone of these shadows are staying true to what I see. It's these shades, I feel like specifically that I've used in the past from lots of manufacturers, where they'll just warm up on my eyelid and they end up looking more like orangey than they appear. But these are actually staying very, very true to what I see in the palette, which is really nice. So this palette was made in the US with globally sourced materials. All right. I think I'm done. Actually, I'm going to drag the brush just underneath my lower lash line here, just a little bit. And if I may compare this formula to other eyeshadows you may be familiar with, it's definitely softer than Natasha Denona, but not soft like the YSL shadows. The YSL shadows have like a creaminess to them. These don't have them. These are a little bit more like silky, but very, very soft and very powdery. Let me see if I can show you how powdery they are. I don't know. Maybe a little bit there, but yeah, a lot of kick up when I put my brush down. So very nice. I like this. I like for everyday looks. This is actually great. You probably wouldn't need if you have my skin tone, but I think there is a palette that has deeper shades. But if you have my skin tone, I feel like it's one of those palettes like you probably wouldn't need anything else. Like if you're not this like makeup enthusiast or whatever, you just want like basic eyeshadow looks every day just to look presentable. I think this would be a good one. All right, now that I have this kind of basic eyeshadow down, I don't know that I want to go in with the Loon liner, the liquid chrome eyeliner from Violette FR. So this is Aurora. I hope you can see how iridescent it is. Let me do a swatch actually. Yeah, it feels like wouldn't be like a cohesive sort of situation, but here is the liner. I hope you can see it. It goes from like pinky to peach to like a yellowy green. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but I just don't know that it would go with this whole look. So anyway, maybe we'll try that next time. I do, however, have one of the newer, it's not a newer shade, it's a new to me shade from Sarah Creole. So I got a lot of the basic shades when these first came out, like the Rich Cocoa and the Bronze or whatever. This one is gold, and I'm just so curious what this looks like. I wanted to see kind of firsthand how yellow toned this gold is. It's actually not, it's not that yellow. So here it is right here. And there's that Violette FR. But here's the Sarah Creole. I think I'm going to use this. I think this actually is a nice kind of match to, could be a nice match. Let's see. Maybe I'll just put in my waterline for now. Oh yeah, that's pretty. It comes off a little cooler looking when I put it in my waterline here. Almost like a champagne situation. Oh, I like that. You know what? I'm going to run this across my upper waterline, and then I think when I curl my lashes, you'll probably be able to see it a little bit better. Ooh, I like that. All right, let me curl my lashes. And I'm actually going to use my Suku defining eyelash base. I have really been loving the Suku lash products. But today I'm just going to use the base, and I'm going to try it with a different mascara. Yeah, I just love how it really kind of brings home any curl that I've put into my lashes. I'm just going to use the Benefit Roller Lash on top. Let's see how this pairing is. Oh, wow. Not bad. Not bad at all. That eyelash base is excellent. All right, let's move to lips because I really want to try these jelly jars on my lips. Makeup by Mario did also send me these lip liners. I'm having one issue with these lip liners. These caps, even if I like really press them down, after a while, I'll pick these up and the caps will fall off. So just be careful if you get these. Like you really want to get that cap on there, otherwise they fall off pretty quickly. I'm gonna go with the shade Almond. That's this shade. Is that too deep? Maybe that's too deep. And then that looks a little warm. This is Dimitri. Yeah, I'll try Dimitri. I would say this lip liner is okay. It seems pretty average. It doesn't seem especially creamy. It doesn't seem dry. I don't feel like it's tugging at my lips, so that's good. The shades are really nice, you know, the Makeup by Mario, like the king of nudes. Okay, so there's Dimitri on. Let's try, I'm gonna try this pink chai. This one, it's the lightest shade. This guy right here. These have a very strong fruity scent. Oh yeah, I like it on the lips so much better. I really wish they would have just marketed it for that. They have a nice moisturizing feeling. They don't feel like the way, like how sticky they feel on the cheeks. They don't feel that sticky on the lips. It blended with the lip liner really beautifully. Yeah, these are great. These are great for the lips. Don't use these for the cheek. Do whatever you want. I don't personally like them for the cheeks, but they're great on the lips. Look how pretty that is. Well, I have to say, I kind of like just picked out all this stuff that I was like, okay, I need to try this stuff. I haven't tried it. I've been meaning to try it or whatever. Kind of a hodgepodge is my point, like a hodgepodge of makeup. And I feel like I really like this look. I've ended up with this really kind of like rich caramel toned makeup look, which I'm loving. Oh, and it looks great with this sweater. I'm actually really happy. I'm really happy with this eyeshadow palette. Anyway, before I finish up here, I do have the Say setting spray. So this is the City Set Lightweight Setting Spray. And let's see, with closed eyes, hold the bottle 8 to 10 inches away from the face and mist evenly after makeup application. Reapply throughout the day for a refreshing boost. Okay, I'm just gonna shake it up for good measure. Here's what the bottle looks like, by the way. And here's the spritzer. Let's see. Okay, promising. Looks like a nice fine mist. It is a very fine mist. My face feels a little wet though, a little bit wet. It makes me want to like kind of tap it in. I don't have to do that with my Patrick Star. I don't have to do it with that one. But this one definitely, I think, is more watery. It's just, it's more like refreshing, if you will. I am actually really surprised at how much I love my look today. I love this pink chai on the lips with that Dimitri lip liner. This Patrick Ta is so great. This is actually a beautiful highlighter from Wise. And if you want something really strong, go with the Kosas. This is intense, no? Yes. And this was okay. I don't know if I need to like use this every single time I do my makeup. And I really do like this reimagining of the Givenchy Prism Leaf Foundation. I'm sorry I didn't try it sooner. But yeah, when they reformulated it, I was like, oh, I really love the old one. I was like, whatever. Whatever, but I really do like it. I really do like it. Despite its like surprisingly thin texture, it's very nice. It's very nice. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you're able to, and you're watching me on mobile, I would love it if you would hype this video. That would mean a lot to me. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in my next video.